lot lately, and I'm wondering what people call high maintenance are actually just people being honest about what they want. Because I think the difference between the two can get a little confusing. So I actually wanted to look into what high maintenance really means. Traditionally, it refers to someone who requires a lot of attention to detail, time, and effort, or resources to maintain a certain standard or expectation. So in simple terms, it's someone who takes more effort than the average to sustain it. And that's the actual definition. But in everyday life, that word is starting to be used as something completely different. And it's not always being descriptive anymore. It's about judgment. Because now high maintenance means what people usually say when someone has standards they're not used to meeting or boundaries they're not used to respecting. And I think that's where it gets misunderstood, because having preferences or knowing what you need doesn't automatically make you high maintenance. It does mean that you're becoming more aware of what works for you and what doesn't. But awareness doesn't, or better yet, awareness can look like too much to people. And to people who really benefit from your lack of judgment or your lack of even knowing it. So in my opinion, it's really about them. Here's the real framework. I think the real difference is high maintenance is needing consistent reassurance because you're unsure. Honestly, it's saying what you need clearly and consistently. You gotta be consistent with it. One comes from insecurity and the other comes from self-awareness. And they look very similar on the outside, but internally they're completely different. But what I noticed is honesty tends to make people uncomfortable because it's not harsh, depending on how you put it, but it's because it requires adjustment. And when you're honest about what you want and what you won't accept, other people have to decide if they can meet you there. And sadly, most can't. And I want to say most can't because not everyone is ready to make that decision. So instead, they label it because labeling is something that is easier than changing how you can respond to it. And when it comes to that, what I've learned is that being honest about what works for you, what works for me, doesn't make you difficult. It just makes you clear. But clarity changes things. So you have to be ready for the change. It changes the dynamic, it changes the access, and it changes your relationship. So I want to leave you with this. I don't think the question is, am I high maintenance? Why is everyone so high maintenance? Is it okay to be high maintenance? I think the real question is, am I finally being honest about myself, with myself, and with other people? Because those two things can look completely different on the outside, but they're not always the same. Now, if this video resonated with you, you know what I'm gonna ask. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, or share button. Your support is greatly appreciated as we continue to grow together. And of course, if you have any questions or if you would like me to divulge a little bit more about the high maintenance lifestyle and how it can actually help you and what benefits you gain from it, just let me know. And until next time, thanks for hanging out.